Just tuning my air guitar right now. 1 second. What's going on, guys? I'm the casual reviewer. I'm the fine line between critic and casual viewer. And I saw Bohemian Rhapsody a couple days ago, and so I just thought I'd give you my thoughts on it. The synopsis, I think most of you know if you're watching this, maybe not. It's about Queen, and it really heavily focuses on Freddie Mercury's part of the story. And, well, not his part necessarily, but it focuses on him for the most part. He was a huge part of Queen and their success. He's played by Rami Malek. It's directed by Bryan Singer, and I've been thinking about it. Again, I saw it a couple days ago. I cannot think of a single performance that was better than Rami Malek's performance as Freddie Mercury. It was phenomenal. For a film that I think is average at best, he was phenomenal, and it was probably average at best because how well he was. Otherwise, it would have been even lower for me. I would have liked it a lot less. They actually were planning on using Sacha Baron Cohen to play Freddie Mercury at first, but it was just creative differences. I think Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to go one way of Freddie's story, a more like the more dark side of it, I think, because he did live such a crazy lifestyle from what I know. But they didn't want to do that, and you could see clearly in this movie they didn't do that, and the PG-13 rating. And so just my thought on it, I think Sacha Baron Cohen would have been great if he was the writer of it, and keep Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury, because I just can't see anyone else as Freddie Mercury now after he played him, and make it an R rating. I think this film would have benefited heavily off of an R rating, just solely because I think in films like this, you need to give the true story. You need to really put it out there and show people what it was in order to feel it. I guess I could just get into the negatives for me in this film, and basically it was everything around Freddie Mercury in this film that kind of failed for me. It didn't interest me, and I don't think it hit the right chords. And the reason for it is, like, between Freddie Mercury and the band themselves, it's a pretty, it holds up. It's a fine story going through. You can sit through it for sure. It's not boring. But from the side of that, like, with this girl that he was dating initially, you see her for like a couple short scenes, and then it kind of all of a sudden, like, to them really loving each other, to all of a sudden what appears to be no reason at all. I mean, you find out, you know, he's gay, and you already knew that probably if you're watching this. So hopefully that wasn't a spoiler, but if it was, spoiler alert. So with that story with his girlfriend, when he started to not love her, and they have a intimate scene together where he's just basically coming out of the closet to her, and it's supposed to be emotional, and like seeing his face and seeing how much like he truly hates hurting this girl that he does love, just not in that way. Like I feel for him a little bit, but at the same time, like, I didn't get enough of that story to really care too much. Same thing with him and his family. There wasn't much there for me to care for, and I mean, you can get the gist that his father was kind of a very structured, like, this is how you live, like, you grow up, you get a 9-to-5 job type of thing, and like you live a stable life, like relaxed life, which he wasn't, and you get that. But then when the scenes were supposed to be emotional, I'm not really feeling it in any way whatsoever. I really don't. There's another subplot of him and this guy who, I don't know if he was like waiter at one of his parties or something, I don't know, and they just don't see each other from that part, which is kind of like the half of the point of the movie until the very end again. And there's a lot of incoherent storytelling. It would have been a much better film if it just focused on Freddie Mercury and his band, and if it had an R rating and really showed his life. And I think that is more effective, just like Straight Outta Compton. If that was PG-13, that would not have worked, because that's not realistic. That's not how it was. Now, this isn't just like a documentary. This is supposed to be a film, and it's clear that they're trying to indulge in Freddie Mercury's life and kind of show parts of his life, but it's very PG-13 of someone who's a rock star living an insane life. I think it's really hard. I'm not saying it would be impossible to make a great film like that, but it would just be really hard to. It's really hard to. So I wish they kind of just would have went fully at it and given the story. Then at that point, I think it would be much easier to create a very heartfelt, emotional story, but very realistic at the same time too. Just, I guess, one more positive before I go. The singing, like, it really made me wish that I was alive to go to a Queen concert. Like, at the time, it just seemed insane, and Freddie Mercury's voice was just absolutely incredible. It was stupid how great his voice was. It made me, like, drive home listening to Queen. I want to listen to Queen more. I want to, like, listen to all their albums now. So it really got me into their music, which is great. But again, as far as the movie itself and the subplots, or like everything that was happening around Freddie Mercury, to me just wasn't super interesting. And Rami Malek's performance is really a huge reason why I didn't completely get bored of this film. And so with that, I'll just go ahead and give you my rating. I think for one, you can wait till it comes out on DVD, so that's that rating. But for my number rating, I'll give it a 5.8 out of 10. Again, not terrible, and it would have been lower if it wasn't for Rami Malek, but you know, there's potential there. Maybe later sometime there will be an R-rated version, and maybe it'll go deeper into the story, and that'd be fantastic, and I'll definitely go see it. And if you do see it, I hope you enjoy it. Unlike me, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I hope you enjoyed a lot more than I did. And with that, that's all I can really say. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you later.